Are we making a whole video about the cover art for the Radiant is the Blood of the Baboon Heart Blu-ray? You bet your ass we are. Mild spoilers ahead. Late night June 6th / early morning June 7th, 2023, somebody found Radiant is the Blood of the Baboon Heart listed for pre-order on Target.com. Along with that pre-order came our first glance at the cover art. The cover art appears to be done by Patrick Legere, who previously collaborated with Jackson and Doc on a bunch of art to promote the 6th season of the show. Glad to see them continuing to work together, and maybe we'll be able to buy a print of this one day as he currently sells all the other art he's made for the show. Next up, we gotta talk about this lady in white. I've seen a lot of people speculating that this is Bobby St. Simone, but this is very obviously new character Mantia. According to the press release put out by Warner Brothers, Mantia is a new character played by Nina Arianda. What makes me so certain this is Mantia? Have you Googled Mantia? It's a silk shawl or veil that's usually white or black, but often white, and it just fits with this mystery character's aesthetic perfectly. Since we know from the press release that Bobby St. Simone will be played by Jane Lynch, this is 100% not Bobby St. Simone. Also, isn't Bobby St. Simone's whole deal supposed to be that she's just an ordinary lady and not part of the super science, superhero, whatever world of the Venture Brothers? It's worth pointing out that we have Doc in a lab coat, suggesting that he'll actually get up to some super science in the movie, which I always enjoy. We've got maybe a new costume here for Dr. Mrs. the Monarch. I can't really tell, but this is definitely Dr. Mrs. the Monarch. I've seen some folks suggest this is maybe Triana, but nah. And then we have 2/3 of the Order of the Triad. Now, Dana Snyder has already been confirmed for the movie, so I'm not actually worried about Al not being in the movie, and I imagine it was more of a choice made by the artist to leave him out of the picture. That said, I'm very excited by the prospect that the Triad is a big enough deal in the movie to be featured in the cover art. That's huge. Finally, we have this giant, I assume, baboon hand holding up Ventec Tower. My immediate reaction to this is that it's a metaphor and we aren't actually dealing with a giant baboon in the movie, but then again, maybe there is an actual King Kong kind of thing going on in the movie. 3 characters completely missing from the Blu-ray cover art are Sergeant Hatred, Billy Quizboy, and Pete White. I'm sure they'll all pop up in the movie in some capacity, but yeah, kind of a bummer not to see them here. Now, in addition to the front cover being leaked, we also got to see a little of the back cover, which includes a synopsis we've seen before. Doc's latest invention will either bankrupt Team Venture or launch them to new heights. As Hank searches for himself, Dean searches for Hank, the Monarch searches for answers, and a mysterious woman from their past threatens to bring their entire world crashing down on them. And special features including Hodgman and Friends, no clue what that is, maybe like alternate takes like that Tracer Juice Box thing, creator commentary, sweet, and Jackson and Doc answer fan questions, which Doc requested on his Instagram account a handful of months ago. Here's the part where we put on our tinfoil hats. In the fine print, they mention that the digital code to download the movie is subject to expire 9/30/2024. My immediate reaction to that is to assume that means the movie is releasing 9/30/2023, but that's a Saturday and doesn't actually make sense, so maybe sometime in September. Over on the subreddit, I see lots of folks still championing July 25th as the release date for the movie, but that's less than 2 months away and we haven't seen a trailer yet. It just seems super unlikely to me at this point that we're seeing the movie in July. But hey, I'd fucking love to be wrong. That's all I got for today. See you next week, and go Team Venture. June 7th, I put the kids to bed, spent a little time with my wife, she went to bed, and then I stayed up to write and record what you just heard. I got in bed, I checked my phone one last time, and there it was. Someone had found the trailer leaked by Amazon. Well, shit. So here we go. May as well make this video a double feature and do a trailer reaction too. The trailer opens on Hank in his Batman mask, which is a perfect mirroring of the final shot of the show. The background music is Jacket, and I'm not sure if that's a fun link to the fans or just a cost-saving measure. Next, we see Hank jumping on a train, which matches up with the still images Jackson had posted of some train cars on his Instagram like a year ago. Dean goes to Orpheus for help finding Hank. Later in the trailer, we see Orpheus doing some psychic shit, presumably trying to locate Hank. We see a clip of Dean from the Shallow Gravy special, which I think is just a funny callback, and the dolls from Coma Town, which I think suggests Dr. Orpheus is looking for Hank, as well as some new stuff, including a new Venture logo with the words Elige Tua on it. Literally, Elige translates to choose, select, or elect, and Tua is your. Some dude on the subreddit who identified himself as a classics/linguistics nerd has suggested that it translates to choose yours. Do with that information what you will. Hank appears to be breaking into the Venture compound here. We also get a bunch of clips involving Pete, Billy, Pirate Captain, Doc, and what appears to be a smart speaker mixed with Helper that floats and is supposed to be launching very soon. Billy wants to test it for safety reasons, and Dr. Venture wants to rush it out the door. I'm assuming that whatever is making the Helper smart speaker levitate is also affecting the group here. We also meet who I am still convinced is Mantia, and find out that she's the head of a new organization called Arch. We get a blink and you'll miss it look at their logo here. I've seen speculation that she is related to Dr. and Mrs. the Monarch or the mother of Rusty. I don't know that I think those things, but I'm just reporting on what I've been seeing. The trailer seems devoid of baboons, except for possibly this quick shot. And speaking of devoid, where the fuck is Al? He's not on the cover of the Blu-ray or in this trailer, but he's definitely listed in the cast list. If something happens to him in the movie, it gives both the Triad and Shore Leave, and therefore the OSI, a personal connection to the story. Speaking of Shore Leave, we get a little scene with him referencing Minority Report here.
I'm sorry, Dawn, but you're gonna have to run again. Run!
And we get a little glimpse at half-naked Dr. and Mrs. the Monarch, which explains the outfit on the cover I was pondering about yesterday. Also, she seems to be being pursued by OSI and not the new group Arch, which was my initial assumption. We see a scene that I'm assuming picks up right after the preview clip that released back in May, so whatever the reel is in that clip, it must be pretty inconsequential. Jefferson Twilight gets the most badass moment of the trailer. Second coolest shit definitely goes to Dr. and Mrs. the Monarch riding Red Death's horse. I kind of wonder if Clancy Brown is doing the voice of the horse. Crazy theory, I don't know. And then we get a pants golem. Thanks Reddit for this one. The Hebrew word on his head means pants, and this was an idea going all the way back to Jackson's pitch book, which can be seen in the Venture Brothers art book. I assume this is a creation of Ben's. And I'm happy to see Hatred a bunch and not getting totally sidelined. Along with the new cool suits for Monarch and 21, perhaps provided by Arch, and Helper using his special hand attachments to cock a shotgun.
Oh, just do it, Helper! Use the special hand attachments I gave you and just pull the trigger!
So, movie will be here in just a few weeks, and then I can quit making these goddamn videos. See you next week, and go Team Venture.